Morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning kickoff. Excited to be with you today, and really feel like we've got an incredible call lined up for you today. I've got two of the biggies on today. I've got Casey Gregory. We're going to dive into some ethos conversation, and then we're going to turn the call over to Patrick De Lorenzo. And one of the things that I really love about Patrick is his passion for all things advanced markets. And, he's really positioned himself from a knowledge standpoint to just be like crazy effective in that market. So Patrick also is very, he knows all of the, we have other advanced market specialists represented at Cornerstone, and Patrick is always, I think he's just always cognizant of who they are and making sure that he is promoting you to plug in to your advanced market specialist. And but let me just tell you, in all of Equus, I've not seen anybody with the passion that Patrick has, and so it's just pretty awesome that we get to plug into that kind of privately here at Cornerstone. So Patrick's going to talk a little bit about advanced markets today and really dive into how to find money. I mean, if you guys see, I love his post on Cornerstone. I love it. When he's talking about, the thing about it is like when he's talking about referrals. So maybe you're Rob Gillen, maybe you referred a client to Patrick. Patrick helped that client. Well, fantastic, right? But how cool is it a few weeks later or a week later or a month later to see that, you're the person you referred me to referred us to this person, and now I just closed an annuity sale. It's just pretty awesome to see. As a matter of fact, I think Casey, you've been kind of on the receiving end of some of those. So maybe when you and I chat, maybe you can comment on that. But hey, this past week we had 33 individual agents protect families. I do want to recognize the top 10: Thomas Porterfield, Ollie Collins, we call him OC, Anne-Marie Gregory. Look at Anne-Marie in the top 10. Way to go, Anne-Marie. Harold Lassiter, Sturgis Kidder, way to go, guys. Jimmy Torres, D-Dub, David Whitehead, Matt Pertusic coming in number 3, Barry Tuzo, number 2. How fitting is that? Tuzo, number 2. And number 1 this past week, what can Brown do for you? Jason Brown. I was texting with Jason this past week. 7 families helped for $8,660, and I just thought that was pretty awesome. So, hey, let's see here. I also wanted to do this. I know I posted it on GroupMe, but I do want to, every week, I do want to give a shout out to those of you guys that are registered for Indianapolis. Can I give my 2-minute commercial? Well, let me recognize first. Okay, so Casey and Anne-Marie. Okay, you guys are locked in. Go me and Kim, Derek Uwaze, Glenn Adams, Doug Toops, Jason. What can Brown do for you, Brown? Brooke Pancoast. Way to go, Brooke. John and Taylor Kite. That's JK2 and his wife Taylor. Kadeen Newman, Floyd Alvarado, Eric Stawicki, Alita Martinez. Well, Alita's down there twice. Alita, you can only go once. Maybe she registered for somebody. Okay. Thank you guys for registering. If you've not registered, hey guys, here's the thing, just register. It's a non-negotiable. From my standpoint, it's non-negotiable. I mean, I know it's called the Gold Standard Tour, but let me promise you something. The way Barry is preparing for this event, it's going to be national convention. It's going to be Equus National Convention, 10-year anniversary. It's going to be massive. So wherever you are, that there is a way, if we work together, there is a way for us to get you to Indianapolis. Okay, there's a way for us to, I'm sure somebody will be driving from your area. So carpooling or, cheap plane tickets in advance. I mean, we do have life insurance licenses. And maybe we'll talk today about, one of the things that I've been on is you literally, it's not sales competency. I'm not throwing sales competency out the window. Okay. I'm not doing that. Okay. Because as you do get better, it becomes more and more fun. Okay. But your profitability in this industry is strategy. Your profitability in this industry is, number one, how am I going to market? Okay. Well, leads sound nice. Okay. Leads sound nice. Now, are leads the absolute perfect way to market? I mean, I don't think there's a perfect way to market. I don't think, investing money into running ads, creating a billboard on your major highway. I mean, I don't think there's any, but there's money invested into creating clients. Okay. And that's all leads are. Matter of fact, I don't think a lot of people have the right attitude toward when they're calling somebody that filled out a lead. I treat them much more as buyers than I think some of you guys do. But I'm kind of diving into topic number one. And that is, I do want to bring on Casey. And Casey, I do want your comment on Indianapolis. But Equus Financial is going to take their whole success culture, and they're going to bring it. They're going to put it under one roof in Indianapolis on December 3rd and 4th. I mean, it's crazy. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. There's going to be a big stage, a big auditorium. There are going to be people talking. It's going to be awesome. But that's not the extent of the association. There are people that you're seeing on the Gold Standard coaching call, and you're like, I'd love to ask them a question. I would love to introduce myself to this person. I would love to go up and meet Jared Ewing. I would love to talk to him about how he went from basically being broke to cash flowing over 20,000 a week, 80,000 a month, $1 million a year inside of 10 months. I'd love to ask him about that. Off camera, off stage, I'd love to ask this question. Guys, that's massive part of what's going to be going on in Indianapolis. Highly recommend registering, but more so than registering, highly recommend just making sure that you end up showing up. Okay, there will be things that will come up, and those things that come up, they're designed. Okay, they're in the universe right now, and your enemy is designing ways to keep you from doing anything that gets you further toward your goal and what you're calling. Okay, if the enemy can thwart your calling and get you, the enemy doesn't necessarily want you doing bad things. It's like, John, the enemy doesn't want me to, but if the enemy can thwart your calling, the enemy will do that. And if the enemy can get you doing good things over here, the enemy's won. So I do think this industry is a calling. I think what we do for clients is a calling. I think what we do for people in exposing the business opportunity is a calling. I think it's just as much a calling as any industry on the planet, including doctors, lawyers, dentists. So, hey, Casey, good morning to you. Do you have you out there?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hey, man. Man, Equus is running a special on Ethos leads. I think I saw from JK2, it's like 40%. Is that right?
Yeah, we got twice as many leads for usually the amount that we spend. So got 100 leads for $480, and activity is that's, I always wake up in the morning and say, today's word of the day is activity. She goes, well, that was what it was Friday. I was like, that's what it's going to be tomorrow too.
I will tell you, Casey, I used to love I used to, and this was back in the day, okay. But I used to love I would get my leads on, well, they would come in Friday night, but I would print them off. I know y'all don't
Yeah.
print leads off anymore, but I would print my leads off on Saturday morning before I dialed them. Typically,
Same.
I was going to one of JK2's football games, but I would print those leads off. And man, it just, to me, every single week, as long as I knew I had X number of leads, I knew I had X number of sales. That was the
Yeah.
close ratio.
Yeah.
Casey, do you look at your leads? I mean, like when I said a while ago, I don't think people out there look at their leads or treat their leads the way I do. But I'm spending money in marketing. I'm spending money to get a name, a number, and a reason to call somebody. And I learned to believe in the close ratio that Bill Martin said was the close ratio.
Yeah. And by the way, you talk about spending money. We're not spending as much money on these particular types of leads that we did in 2016, 17. So, I mean, you should feel relaxed about getting 100 of these, calling them, knowing that you're going to probably take home, 20 to 30% of them. And you're going to get some people on the phone that just want to get coverage. They want to get it without a physical. They want to get it with just an application, and they want to know that it's done with and that you're going to be their person. If there's something comes down, they want to know that you can call them, that they can call you rather. But yeah, I love it because I call just what you said, just like these people are buyers. They were on the website with a credit card ready to buy insurance. So and even if it doesn't really matter what they say, when I call, they can say, "Oh, I already took care of that. Oh, I don't care about that anymore." Anything that they say other than yeah. And you're going to get some that go, "Yeah, I'm still interested." And then you either work with them right there or book the appointment. If you book the appointment, just make sure that you got 10 or 12 of them, because most of them won't pick up the call the next time. It's just the way it is with virtual sales. And it doesn't hurt my feelings. It's just part of the business. And it doesn't mean that we can't call them back later.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it.
Hey, so okay, so Ethos leads, they're running a special 40% off. I think that's
Yeah.
massive. Like
Yeah.
it makes me want to go look on the map and see. I don't, does it say how long the special is? Is it this week or today only or what?
No, I really couldn't tell you that because I'm not the one that went and did it. I just told her that there was a special on leads, and if she could hook me up, that would be great. And
Okay,
so,
perfect.
yeah,
Well, I'll find out and I'll post on GroupMe, but it makes me want to jump on the map and go and invest in some of those leads. I'm still
yeah,
really, I'm changing. This past week was crazy for me. I think I've got a lot of outstanding calls to make, but
yeah.
we've been dealing with family, and we were out of town most of last week and got back late last night. And as a matter of fact, hopefully you can't tell in my eyes because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting ready to jump on this conference call and I feel like I haven't slept at all. So, um, but I'm still trying to adopt. Like when I went into the Ethos, I'm thinking, oh man, like what an advantage to get the brand new Ethos lead, right? But the more I'm learning about these leads, the more I'm learning about how you're kicking my butt every week, Casey, because you're dealing with the older leads, but they're not older in the sense of a typical inventory lead. They're kind of been out of the process, maybe out of the crosshairs of I really do think it's a stronger lead actually that you're working. Any comments on that?
Yeah, these things don't expire. That's the thing. I mean, our A-League mortgage protection handwritten ones do. They do expire in a way, not really, but those things do get old. But these things that don't get old, and so I mean, why not spend $8? And they haven't been called as much because Ethos representatives, whoever they are calling those people too. And they're calling those $18 ones a lot more than they may be calling these $8. I don't know if anybody's calling these $8 ones, maybe a few people, but if you can get somebody on there and make it not seem like a salesy type thing and let them know that you're just checking their interest to see if they're still in the market for insurance, and that if they are, then you've got several different carriers that will compete for their business in a way. If you would want to work with me, and a lot of people will say, yeah, I'll work with you, and it's all you've got about 2 minutes, maybe at first about 30 seconds. But once you start a conversation to really create some rapport there so that you can carry on with that call.
Yeah. So Casey, what's your schedule this week? If somebody's out there going, okay, I'm going all in, I'm going to dive in, I'm going to go duplicate exactly what you're doing. I'm going to invest the same amount of money that you're doing. I'm going to I'm going all in on that. So how can I know you and thank you for that, but you do a lot on camera on the CBO. But typically, what's your schedule, and how can people find you on the CBO?
Yeah, Monday through Thursday. After the gold standard call, I'll be on the CVO making dials until about noon to 1. And then hopefully I've booked up my schedule for that evening by then. If I haven't, I'm going to continue to keep calling. And even once I'm booked, I'll call because I'm looking for people who want to do it right now. The people that are 65 and older that aren't working a regular schedule, I'm looking for them. I'm looking for people who want final expense. I'm looking for people who want any kind of coverage. And then in the afternoon, then I'm running my appointments generally from 3 to close, whenever that is. It might be 8 o'clock. It might be 7 o'clock. But that's my schedule Monday through Thursday. Friday, if it's a good week and things are going well, then that's my day to kind of, go play golf or ride my bike or whatever. And then Saturday, we're back at it. Saturday is still the best day to dial any kind of lead, as you know. And so we're booking Saturday for Monday. Just book the heck out of it though, because of the rate. And then, but that's the schedule. And CVO is great. And I love it when if somebody's on there and I get somebody that says, yeah, I want to deal with it right now, then you get to see some things.
Yeah.
It's like Bill Martin used to say, let's see what kind of trouble we can get into.
Yeah. I thought Jared Ewing did a great job the other day on the call, maybe on Thursday.
Yeah.
And the thing that I love that Jared, well, I love Jared talking about several things, but one of the things that I love talking about was if you really understand building rapport with people, you can build rapport with people wherever you are. Like he went through an example of how he would build rapport with people when he didn't know anything. And the thing about it is that what that triggered in my mind was I remember early on, I did this unknowingly. I did the same thing because I didn't know anything about term products. Guys, I had written final expense. I knew whole life products. I knew whole life lookbacks. But when I went into mortgage protection sales in August of 2016, it was like it was not the same thing, not the same client, not the same product. And so I eventually I would just go into people's home and I would let them know, hey, listen, and I would tell them who I was and that I was pretty much new to this, but I'm there because they filled out this form, and I'm not going to not call you or sit down with you because of my lack of knowledge, but I can assure you nobody's going to want to help you get this covered more than I am. And I will tell you, buyers, people that are going to buy anyway, people that wanted to buy life insurance, it was almost like they were relieved, because you get a lot of these people that they don't want to sit down with the life insurance guy because they don't want to sit down with the bow tie wearing life insurance guy that thinks they know everything. Like they're afraid of that person. They're afraid that they're going to end up buying something that they don't need or whatever. Does that make sense, CG?
Yeah, man. I think it's kind of an interesting thing. We just moved into this house, right? And there's boxes everywhere. I get a person ring the doorbell on Saturday midday, inviting us to a block party, kind of a welcome to the neighborhood thing. Very nice of them to do that. But what it did was, other than to meet the neighbors, was it gave me about 30 opportunities to say hello and what do you do? Because they all ask.
Yeah.
What do you do? You still work? Well, yeah, I hope I don't look like I'm retirement age yet. Anyway, I told them, and it was great. It was a great connection. It was very low key, and they know I work from home, and they see me out walking around the neighborhood. And I mean, a lot of little kids, a lot of 34, a lot of 35 to 45-year-olds, and then some retired people. But you think those 35-year-olds are excited about going to their job today? No.
Nope.
Taking those kids, dropping them off at daycare. I mean, they're hustling fast in the dark.
Yeah. I'll sort of, and I want your comment on this as we get ready to transition over to PD. But we talk about the drill and the hole, and I think that there's so much focus on the drill. I think there's some life insurance agents that really they go way overboard in learning about products and learning about life insurance, and it's like they know more about life insurance than Barry does, like way more than I do. But what they're learning how to become an expert at the drill. And really, if you relax enough and you focus on whatever the hole is, what's the need of the client? I think when if you go into your recruiting that way, it makes your recruiting better. If you can find out what people want, find out what people truly want. Instead of getting on the phone with people or talking to the person at Starbucks about what you're doing, I'm happy to talk about what I'm doing. And it literally takes me 20 seconds to tell you what I do. But it's a waste of my time to do that until I know, like, what are you looking for? Are you keeping your options open? Why are you keeping your options open? Do you not like your job? Like, I don't tell people jobs suck. I just say, hey, are you, do you not like working your job? I don't want to tell them they're working for somebody else's dream. I want them to tell me they're working for somebody else's dream.
Yeah. Yeah, they already know it.
Exactly. I want to know what's their reason. What would be your reason to dive in and do the unthinkable? The unthinkable meaning you get your life insurance license and you dive into massive failure, getting no's, going through maybe your friends or family going, like your friends and family, it's not that they don't it's like they do love you, and it's like parents or whatever. It's like we all want the best for our kids, but we want our kids to take the path of least resistance, right? We don't want to see our kids struggle. You'd have to be a parent on the verge of craziness to say, let me tell you what I want for you, son or daughter. I want you to massively struggle in life because that's going to be your ticket to see. Now, that's the truth. But as a parent or a friend, we all want, like, hey, if there's a way that you can create all of the success, if there's a bottom line, if there's a way that you can become all God created you to be without struggling too much, I would love that. The challenge is good luck, right?
Right.
But when you're talking to somebody and you're interviewing, qualifying, and selecting, what I ultimately want to know is why would you do the unthinkable? And I'm going to tell you, it better be big. I will tell you, like I talk about my whole, I talk about, being in the golf industry, Casey. I know this very well, but like I knew that there was a big difference between nice country clubs versus the muni that had trouble growing grass. I
Right.
knew there was a difference in people. I knew there was a different, there was, and I, like, I wanted to belong to, like, I wanted to have nice country club memberships, you
Mhm.
know, not membership. Like I wanted to belong to nice places. You know, I
Same.
wanted to be able to enjoy it, and that was just me. But that's
Yeah.
me because like golf is like that's what I enjoy doing. You may
Yeah.
be something different. You know, I want to, like, right now, one of my biggest holes, one of my biggest, like right now, I want to find a family farm. Like I want a family, like I want a farmhouse. I want it to be like we're not talking about, you know, camping out. Like like I want a huge farmhouse. I want to be able to have kids, grandkids, friends, families, kids and grandkids of the friends and families that I know. Like I would love to be just a place where we can go and fellowship and just do a lot of cool things, and you know, ride those gators around and four-wheelers and just have a good time, man. So but you know, I just challenge people, Casey, and I'll let you comment on this before we turn it over to Patrick, but I just challenge people, always be working on your dream. You know, to some people it sounds silly, and to some people it sounds like a waste of time. But truly, it is what you allow in your mind as far as, hey, this is what I really want right now. And it for some of y'all, if you're really broke, for some of y'all, it could just be, I would love to know what it feels like just to have six figures in a bank. Like six, look in and see, like, what would it feel like to see? And maybe that's your whole, maybe that's what you allow to permeate through your thinking. But I'm going to tell you what, when you really develop emotional ties to what you want in life, it drives you. It drives you, yes, on good days, but more importantly, it drives you on bad days. And I will tell you, when I talk to people that are struggling, man, it's like, I don't know, Casey, but to me, it's like when I talk to them, I'm just going, man, like you don't seem to have any passion at all. Like I don't like. It's hard to tell you've even got a dream,
Right.
right? It's hard to tell that. So, any comments on that?
Yes, I want to say, and I know Amory said the same thing to you. There was a call that we had, and you were talking about faith, and you were um, talking about stepping out in faith. With in this business, that's what you're doing. When you're calling people that you don't know, you need to have faith. I pray over my leads. I think a lot of you do. Before you start, you know, just lead me to the people who I'm supposed to talk to. That takes the pressure off. It's not you. And so, in regards to, yeah, having the right people, talk to the right people. We wrote down a lot of things. Amory was in tears that day, but not in a bad way. And she came to me and she says, "All those things we wrote down." She goes, "All the mental lack that I've been feeling." She goes, "I just had this feeling that we need to move." And we put it all on paper. We had no idea how it would happen. And we finally got it to where we listed it within 30 days. That the house sold in 6 days, full cash offer, John.
Love it.
And I don't mean to come in here and talk about all this stuff that nobody else cares. I get it. I would be like, okay, great. What reason I'm saying this is because of the faith that was behind it. And this business has given us the opportunity to really follow some dreams that we never really thought would happen. Certainly not this fast. 30 days, man. That's incredible. If there was one thing I'd want to say to anybody that's listening to this, whether you have a stack of leads or whether you have a dream to do something, if you'll sit down with genuine faith, write it down, pray over it, and really want that, even when it's tough, you won't mind getting on the phone and doing what you need to do. And I don't know if that answers your questions or not, but that was really on my heart to share with you. And we couldn't be more thankful. Makes me want to run harder.
Absolutely. Well, you know, dreams are important for me. My dream My dream involved me creating as much time as it was money.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because when I think about what got me emotional, like when I really thought about certain things like cars or anything like that, it never became emotional. Okay. Outside of me buying my dream car, like literally that white Mercedes, when we lived in that little dinky house in Smithfield, North Carolina, I put that white Mercedes up on my refrigerator. And I remember going and getting that car. And I just remember like it was a few months after that, I just went, why did I make such a big deal about it? But I'm going to tell you, when I went and sat in that car at the dealership, long before I even dreamed of being able to afford to get it, I just remember sitting in that car and almost coveting it. Like I would sit in that car, I would smell it. I would look at the dashboard and I'd be going, like, it's just like I was so emotionally attached to it, and it drove me. It served its purpose. But I remember afterwards, it was like, cars aren't any big deal. So for me, my big dream, it involved me creating time. Like I need time to do what I want to do. I want to ultimately, I want to wake up and have 6 Saturdays and a Sunday. I want to wake up. It's Monday. The biggest thing I want to know about today is where does my wife want to go to lunch? Hey, Kim,
Right.
where do you want to go? I'm really like, I can't wait. I want to go grab lunch with Kim. I don't want to have to think today about having to do an activity to put a dollar bill in my bank account. So
Right.
my biggest hole was to live free. Well, if freedom means time and money, I needed to go do an activity that did that. And guess what? Personal sales was not it. I told somebody the other day, I never wanted to write $1 more than 5,000. 5,000 a week. It was the cash flow I needed. Now, were there weeks I wrote more than 5? Yeah, but it's not because I was sitting there 7 days a week trying to write business. I wasn't. I tried to get all my business written in 2 or 3 days so that I could spend the rest of my week interviewing, qualifying, and selecting.
Yep.
And building my agency, because it was my agency that was ultimately going to give me the passive income stream to be able to wake up like today.
Same.
And then, so you build your, and it's just so what's your hole, man? What's your desire? Okay. CG, man, stay on if you can.
Yeah.
Stay on. I'm going to bring on Patty D.
Oh,
Patty.
one thing, this has to do with Patrick.
Do it.
I just wanted to say, I randomly was calling my book of business about a month ago, ran across a client that he just dealt with, closed it for a large amount. He can tell you the details if you want, but he also uncovered an annuity the other day, and there's some bonuses that are going along with that. And I'm just saying, I had no idea that this man would even meet with Patrick, but it turns out he was an ideal type client. And so part of my day is to call people and ask them the question, about debt free for life. And, we're going to get a fat deposit this Friday because of it. Ask your people what's going on in terms of that, and refer them to Patrick.
Well, Patty D, I can't think of a better introduction, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to tear up here, Casey. Thank you. So this was like a challenging weekend. So my anniversary in the industry is October 4th, Saturday. Saturday was a little bit rough. John, you probably know about that. But everything happens for a reason. So Casey, I actually really, really, really appreciate that from you this morning, because that means probably a lot more than I can competently and coherently convey.
You're welcome.
That your friendships meant a ton, and quite honestly, it's fun. We're getting that deposit like you said on Friday, but here's the cool thing: the next one from that same referral is already being worked on. So that's the kind of fun part about this, I think the fun thing is, like, if I could call you like 3-4 more times from this exact same referral between now and, let's say, December 31, and go, hey, you remember that? Okay, so this is on the way. Or, hey, I realize you don't have a clue who Mike Jones is, but this is a guy that came from that guy, because that's where it gets kind of fun. So I think that's the kind of cool part to do. Do I have the ability to share my screen? Because I put together some stuff. So let me see.
I think so.
All right, I'm going to share my screen. Let's make sure everybody can see this. I am sharing my screen. Okay, so let's switch over here. I like to travel too. So that's the bridge of size behind me. But all right, that's not actually what I'm pulling up for you guys, I promise. Let's get let me get things. We're going to talk about how to find, thinking about something. And I posted about a sale I had the other day. And this kind of popped in my head is people were commenting with that little fire emoji. And fire emoji, all right, that's cool. But I started thinking, like, what is fire? Fire is not, Patrick did something great. That's not what a fire is. A fire is like, if I light this desk on fire, that fire should spread to eventually, if I don't put it out, the walls, the floor, the ceiling, the rest of the building. And here's the crazy thing. It's not fire if I'm writing these things and nobody else is. That's not a fire. That's a candle at best. And I don't want to be a candle. So I want to actually create a fire, meaning I need somebody else to step up and start doing these things, because there's no reason that I'm the only one that should be doing it. That's nuts. So I want to empower you guys to be able to start finding these things. And if you're referring to me, great. If you don't refer to me, I don't care. And I don't mean that to be ugly. That's not where I'm going with that. I don't want this to be about me. I want this to be about actually creating a fire. So I need you guys to be a little interactive with me. John, Casey, if you guys are unmuted, if you could maybe watch the chat, so if we get some stuff, you can see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Appreciate the heck out of that. But please feel free to put out questions, concerns, comments, objections, etc. Because if we can't tackle those, we will not have a fire. I want a fire. So let's all make an agreement right now that we're going to do a couple things. We're going to eliminate the ridiculous garbage out of why we're not able to do this. That's what I need everybody to kind of agree with me. I need some nods. I need something. I need a thumbs up. I'll even take like a finger, and I mean this one, not a different one. So if we can all agree to just get rid of the ridiculous garbage, let's move forward. Here's the prerequisites if we're going to find money. Let's talk about why we're going to add this piece. If you guys can start finding money, it's going to boost your client retention. Nobody here likes a chargeback. They happen. It's part of our business. But what if we could find a way to reduce some of them? What if for every 10 you're getting now, what if we can make 2 of them not happen anymore? That's massive. Heck, if we can make 1 out of every 10 not happen anymore, that's massive. Again, I hear things like, oh, I can't worry about finding money or talking about debt-free for life or retirement or whatever, because that'll take away my sale. No, the heck it doesn't. I'm not tooting my horn, but Casey and I have worked together. None of the people that we have written a debt-free for life on has then said, all right, now I want to cancel my life insurance. It hasn't happened once. Comp. Guys, we agreed we're going to get rid of the ridiculous. Adding annuities, adding debt-free for life, that's going to boost your comp. Couple grand a pop. Let's just keep it simple. And let's eliminate the garbage. I get it. None of us, Bible specifically says we're not supposed to love money. It doesn't say we're not allowed to work for and get money from our labor. That we're allowed to do. We can't worship it. We can't turn it into a deity. We can't use it as an idol. That being said, there's nothing saying we can't have money going into our bank accounts. Money is how you all feed your families. It's how all of you pay for your homes. It's how all of you put gas in your car. It's how all of you take care of your kids. Me too. So it's okay to make money. Likewise, adding this piece, it generates additional business. Casey and I had that case that we're getting paid on Friday, and there's already another thing coming from that referral. There's more there that we're able to find. So that's why we need to add this piece. Second, I need you guys to believe that we can provide solutions. I think that's one of the biggest issues, that there are agents on here right now that don't believe that we can actually make a difference. So I've got 3 numbers on here. I hope you guys can see this, but I'm going to zoom way the heck in on this. 33%, 6.65%, 4.35%. What the heck are those numbers? That's a great question. Thank you for asking that, John. So real quick, guys, there is a website called Bankrate, bankrate.com. Plug it into your phone, bankrate.com, bankrate.com. I'm not repeating it multiple times just for the heck of it, but you'll get to a screen that says picture. The first 2 things are CD rates and high yield savings. If you click that CD rate button, best CD rates of October 2025, up to 4.45%. Oh my gosh, this has already changed since I wrote it. All right, 4.45. That went down. Okay, that's the best CD rate. High yield savings. Let's see what that one looks like right now. Okay, that one's still the same, 4.35. So here is the best, not a good one, not an average one, not a decent one. This is the best high yield savings account rate right now, 4.35% on safe money, which isn't bad. The best, I'm sorry, that's the CD, 4.45. Best high yield savings is this one, 4.35%. So now the question is, what the heck is that 33? That's our current best annuity rate. Annuities, CDs, high yield savings are all meant to be the exact same thing, safe money. This is not the money that we're going to try to go, gamble away at the Bellagio next time we're in Vegas. This is our safe money. So real quick, I want everybody to think back to like 2nd grade math. Does everybody remember this? Greater than, less than, equals to? Everybody remember that, right? Yeah. All right, good. Which of these numbers is the greatest of the numbers? It's this one, right? Is there anyone here that feels a 4.45% interest rate or a 4.35% interest rate is better than a 33%? Anybody think that? Here's the crazy thing. Drive through your town, past some of the local banks, not the BB&T or Wells Fargo's and Bank of America's and US banks, past the mom and pop banks. A lot of them have CD rates posted on signs outside the bank. Sometimes it's on an electronic marquee, but they're posting things like 4, 5, 3. And here's the insane thing. They've got people that are going into those banks every day going, I want 4.45%. We're offering 33. So again, let's eliminate the ridiculous. How am I on time? Guys, also please watch me on the time. We've got to eliminate the ridiculous. Nobody here can tell me with a straight face, oh, my clients wouldn't want 33. BS. Bravo Sierra. It's not true. Just people don't know we have this, and it's our job to introduce this piece to them. But let's just, again, let's look at the freaking math. We put all 3 of these things into 100. We put $100,000 into all 3 of these things. That high yield savings has 104,350. The CD has 104,450. The annuity has $133,000. Does anyone here see a difference other than me? And again, let's eliminate the ridiculous. So let's stop pretending that our clients don't want these things. The difference is here. They have CDs right now. They have high yield savings right now. For $100,000 balance, that's a difference of $28,000. And do not tell me right now if I put a bag of cash, a suitcase of 20s, and it's $28,550, and I say you can have this if you want it. Any of you are going to say, "Get the heck out of my house." So I need everybody to stop thinking that we can't do these things or we can't offer these things or we don't have I can't talk to clients about that. They don't want to look at this. That's garbage. We can provide the solutions. This is math. This isn't anything more than that. So there's our prerequisites. So how do we have this conversation? All right, so we're going to do a couple things. We're going to set the stage early when we're talking to people. Asking about money is not something we do when we're delivering a policy. Asking something the first time. Asking when we are leaving the home is not the thing. It's not the first time we ask about money. We've just finished. We're about to jump off the Zoom. Oh, hey, by the way, that's not the first time we need to be having this conversation. We need to start setting the stage for this early. And here's a couple reasons. Any of you, I'm sure every one of us on here at some point has written an app and been all kinds of excited and submitted it. And it goes to GPM, it goes to Foresters, it goes to Americo, whoever. And then we find out a little bit later that it's been declined because John Doe forgot to mention that, he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer diagnosed last week. And yes, that's extreme. But that kind of stuff happens. They said, oh, I just have minor depression. And it turns out, no, they're taking 6 meds and they've been hospitalized. It's not that minor. We've got to start having the conversation early, because what happens at that point is our app is declined and we can't really move forward. So let's start setting the stage early. We're filling out the paperwork with that client, and I'm just going to ask a real simple question. Hey, Casey, let me just ask you, for whatever reason this goes sideways. I don't say if you get declined. I don't say if you're lying. I don't say if you forgot to tell me something. Hey, Casey, if this for whatever reason goes sideways, what do you have that works like life insurance? I don't say do you. It's not a yes, no question. What do you have? Language is important. The reason I'm asking what do you have is it does a couple things. First, it creates the thought in their head that the answer to this should be yes. What is not a yes or no question? What is, I'm telling you, you should have something. I just need to know what you have that works like life insurance. So if they truly don't have something in the back of their head, they're starting to go, this guy's expecting that I did. This is a professional. This is a licensed person that knows what they're talking about. They're thinking that I should have something. Why don't I? So if they truly don't have anything, that's what I want going through their head. Second, I want them going, well, wait a second. I'm not sure I understand that question. Because when they don't understand that question and they're engaged, they ask a question back of me. Casey looks at me and says, well, Patrick, what the heck do you mean by that? And then it's not me pushing information. It's Casey pulling information out of me. We've changed the dynamic. I'm not a salesperson just forcing crap on them. It's Casey asking me a question. And as a licensed professional, I'm responding to that question. Right. Great question, Casey. What I mean, did you, I know you're not retirement age, clearly from the way you look. I mean, I don't care what they said, the other people at the party said, but, you don't look like you're retirement age. So, are you still working where you at currently? Is this a place you've been with a while? Okay. Do you have a retirement account there? Great. How long have you been there? Okay. You've been there only 2 years. All right, well, you look like you're about my age, so I'm guessing you probably didn't just join the workforce 2 years ago. Were you working somewhere else before? Okay, great. Did you have a retirement account there? All right, awesome. And when you left, where did you move it to? Not did you move it, where did you move it to? Plants the seeds of you should have moved it. And it also helps me understand where it went. Why is that important? Because again, that's money. That's the ability to help. That's something that they possibly moved into a CD or a high yield savings account or something at Edward Jones or who knows. But I want that conversation going. The other things you can ask, well, where do you guys currently put your safe money? Not do you have safe money? Where do you put your safe money? Okay, it goes into the CD. All right, cool. You have a savings account. All right, great. Oh, you established an IRA. That's awesome. Oh, you're tucking it into the mattress. Okay, well, we're via Zoom, so I don't even know where your mattress is. But that's the kind of stuff we want to start talking about. And you're not going to go into it right then because you're writing the app, but you should be writing down, Client has 401k from old job that he hadn't moved, has IRA. Wife is sticking money into mattress. Whatever the heck it is, write that down. The next thing also I need everybody to start doing, be presumptive. Study after study is showing right now, and this is LIMRA, this is FINRA, this is a few other things, but studies are showing that the average household we are in front of has got $75,000 of investable assets. Let's remember what this average word is, because we don't seem to understand that. So let's define that. That does not mean every single person you talk to today has 75. That means there's possibly someone you're going to talk to today that has 0. But that means one of the houses you talk to tomorrow's got 150. So the average is 75. Average. There's also a lot of people above average. Half. There's also a lot of people below average. It's also half. But remember, the average household you're in front of is 75,000 of investable assets each. So let's just do quick math. If you run 10 appointments in a week, you sat in front of $750,000. And okay, I get it. The ones you ran this week, you sat in front of 0. That means next week, the houses you sat in front of have 1.5 million. And again, we agreed to get rid of the ridiculous. All right. So 750,000 a week times 52 weeks a year. None of you are working 52 weeks. I'm not either. Let's say 48 weeks a year. That means you're in front of $36 million a year if you run 10 appointments a week. So keep that in mind. Be presumptive. They have money. If they have bought a house, if you have a lead from a mortgage protection sale, they bought a house. And if you bought a house, you have money. You guys, if you've ever purchased a home yourselves, you know the process. You had to show them your bank statements. It's here's where I'm getting the escrow money. It's not even that I have it in there. It's I got to show you where it came from. I have to show you that I'm employed, or if I'm 1099, that I've been going for a certain number of years. I have to be able to do that. And if your clients have bought a house, I promise you they have money and income. So just keep that in mind as you're talking to these folks. The other thing you've got to stop doing is don't accept a non-answer. Anyone ever been talking to a client and they look at you and they say, oh, we're good? Has anyone ever, Casey, ever been told we're good? That's not a flippant answer. I am not your therapist. Casey is not your therapist. We don't care if you're good. We're not here to talk about your feelings. We're here to talk about finances. I'm not asking if you're good. And when I get, I'm good, it's a very simple response. Casey, I totally understand. I didn't ask if you're good. I mean, you're a grown man. If you weren't good, would you be sitting here waiting for me to show up? Or would you have fixed it yourself? And you see how Casey nodded there, guys? That's what the client does. I'm now controlling what he's doing without meaning to and without deliberately scripting it. But you got to get rid of the ridiculous. Don't ask for, I didn't ask if you're good. I asked, do you have something that works like life insurance? We're good is not an answer. Because here's the crazy thing. 80 plus death claims I've handled in my career. Never got to the house, never got on the phone, never jumped on the Zoom. And the widow or the kids or the widower looked at me and said, you know something, Patrick? I'm good. They weren't good. Not in that moment. So also stop accepting we don't need. That's also crap. We talked about the differences of what these products can do versus a CD versus a high yield savings account. 100 grand, it's, what was it, 28,000 odd dollars difference. I promise you right now, if I went to any surviving spouse and said, hey, we can rewind time, I've got a DeLorean. Would you hate it if we increased this amount $28,000? It'll take 10 seconds. Are you opposed to that? No. Okay, great. So stop accepting that answers. Also, when you ask a yes, no question, do not take an answer that isn't yes or no. Hey, Casey, let me, with that retirement account you have that you didn't move, let me ask you, that company that you left, did you choose to leave or did they make you leave? Okay, they made you leave. All right. So they weren't good for you. Okay, great. Do you feel they're good at handling your money? Do you trust them with that since you didn't trust them with yourself? Well, it's a yes, no question. Maybe don't cut them off, but it's a yes, no question. Regardless of what other BS comes out of the mouth, bring them back to, okay, so let me get this straight. You feel they weren't good with you. I guess what I asked is, do you feel they'd be good stewards of your money? Okay, great. Okay. Same thing. You gotta, don't let them, just kind of like when I talk about the debt free for life question. Hey, if we could show you how to pay off that mortgage and all your other debts in half the time or less without having to refinance or do any debt consolidation, are you opposed to seeing the math? We're good. I didn't ask if you're good. I'm sure you're good. If you weren't good, you would have done something already, right? Okay. My question is, are you opposed to seeing the math? Same thing here. Okay. Next, here's the thing you got to do, especially sometimes with men, because we are stubborn, we are hard-headed, we are ego-driven. You have to add a little bit of boldness. Well, no, I wouldn't want to look at increasing my retirement account. Hey, I totally understand. But let me ask you one last question, Casey. Would it piss you off if you had more retirement money? Let me make sure I'm understanding you. And if the answer is, if they respond with yes, it would piss me off if I have more retirement money, it's someone I don't want to waste any time on. But these are the things you've got to start asking. Hey, what do you have that works like life insurance? And when they do, here is the question you need to ask. I will repeat this twice and then we got to call it. Hey, let me ask you, Casey, if we could show you how to grow that account, especially whenever the market is doing well, avoid all the losses when the market's down, and then keep the fees ridiculously low, are you opposed to seeing the math? Well, we're good. Now, that's not what I asked you, Casey. I said, if we could show you how to grow your retirement account every time the market is doing well, avoid all of the losses when that market is down, and then keep the fees ridiculously low, are you against seeing the math? Well, we don't really need extra money. Okay, so let me ask you then, Casey, if I could show you how to grow that account, would it piss you off if it had more money in it than what it does right now? And sometimes you have to be that bold. Give them the opportunity to say, yes, if I had an extra $28,000 in that account right now, I would be angry. My wife would make me take her out to dinner and I can't stand her. I'm not actually saying that, guys. I'm just give that man the opportunity to say something ridiculous like that, because that's where you're going to have that conversation. So let me repeat that one more time and then we are out of time. But, hey, if I could show you how to grow that account anytime the market's doing well, if I could show you how to not lose anything when the market is down, if I could show you how to keep those fees ridiculously low, are you against seeing the math? That question line needs to be something you walk every client you're walking through, because in a week, if we're running 10 appointments each, you're sitting in front of $750,000. How did you, John? I'm out of time.
All right. Love it. Hey, the thing about it is that, I love the fact that when you look at fixed annuities, you're looking at the most incredible place for people, for savers, people that have safe money. And
Yep.
we've got the answer, right? And it's so cool. I love the boldness. I love the just acknowledging the fact that, there are acceptable answers and there are unacceptable answers, and without being abrasive, it's good to know that we can be bold with our clients, because listen, if our desire is for our clients to make a better return without having to pay taxes, without getting a 1099 every year, like you do in a CD, but it's like, if our desire is for there's a certain boldness that comes with knowing that my product is way better than what you're currently dealing with, and knowing that you could put somebody in a better situation. I mean, guys, that's how we live our life in the life insurance business, is when we get our way and we write a life insurance policy, we know that your family is like, when that day comes, we know that what we've done for your family is a really good thing. So just love that. Love but more than anything, love the license to be bold. And boldness always wins when you're bettering somebody. So we're not selling vacuum cleaners. We're not selling water treatment systems. We're not selling vitamins. We're life insurance and safe money vehicles to protect and grow your money. Life insurance companies are 10 times better than banks. Okay. Guys, gold standard coaching call starting now. I'm jumping on.